Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Jesse, welcome back.
Thank you. Do I look tan?
You look stunning now.
I just got back from a vacation, much needed vacation, and I didn't work any, well, that's not true. I didn't work very much, and I definitely did not work on many short sale files. Thankfully, our team took care of that while I was gone, so I appreciate that.
Now, you have to actually understand that for Jesse, not very much is all relative, so we'll just leave it
I
at
worked
that.
an hour in the morning and like a half hour in the afternoon.
And that's a Jesse vacation.
It is. It is. But in the meantime, you've been dealing with something else in your own neighborhood, it sounds like.
Yeah, boy, this is really hard. I've got actually a neighbor who has a child in my daughter's school. This is somebody who, I don't know him personally, but I do know his child. And they're 3 weeks away from a foreclosure date. They've got an auction date on the county steps.
3 weeks, that doesn't give them much time.
They're right up against it. I mean, we're just about there. And relative to a short sale, that's next to no time. However, if we had an offer, and that's the other part of the story, is I have a client who actually brought this property initially to my attention. She's got interest in buying this home. So
you don't know them. You don't know the borrowers that well. You know their child.
I know their child.
You know that they're 3 weeks away because of why?
Because I've looked it up on the site, and I know that they're 3 weeks away from auction.
How did you know they were distressed?
Actually, it came up on Zillow under foreclosure.com. There's a listing there.
All right. So by chance, you happened to find out that
Just
your
happened
neighbors,
by chance to find this out.
they were distressed, and you offered them help. How did you do that?
So I've gone by a couple of times, knocked on the door, and I didn't get any responses there, and dropped off a card, and then I called them actually yesterday, and he was immediately dismissive. I mean, and I understand that. I mean, when they talk about a distress sale, there's no joking about the distress involved. I mean, This is a very stressful time. This is when somebody's headed towards foreclosure. I mean, there's really only about 3 things I'm aware of that are that stressful. I mean, there's the death in the family, there's a divorce, and there's losing your home.
Yeah.
And so this is a really difficult time, and I get that.
But they're not responding at this point.
But he won't listen to the lifeline I'm trying to throw to him at really the 11th hour. I mean, we're right down to the wire, and it's potential that we could get the foreclosure postponed. I mean, you know that we've done it right down to the last minute, and getting the banks to listen to us if we can put an offer in front of them.
But the reality is, and what you're facing, what you're realizing is that many people, if you don't accept early on, if you are not able to make yourself aware of the process and make yourself aware, educate yourself on your options,
right?
Then by the time, it doesn't really matter how close you are to foreclosure. That person may not come to awareness.
Absolutely, and that's clearly where he is. And I understand, there's pride issues, there's fear, there's a whole range of emotions that someone goes through in that position.
Yeah.
And like Jesse mentioned, knowing your options is what it's about. The more time we have to work with you, the more options you've got. And really, it's like any other challenge in life. The more you know up front, the better prepared you are. The more chance we can bring you out with the minimum damage.
Yeah. So I guess the reality is that it's always good to be in a relationship with someone so that they can, listen to what it is that we have to say. But even if they're not, then the reality is that investigate your options, educate yourself on the process, so that you're not left with no alternative than foreclosure. And so, this is probably a good, something to consider. If you know someone who's facing foreclosure, if it's a neighbor, an acquaintance, a family member, or a friend, encourage them to find information, at least get a consultation from a short sale listing specialist who can really make them aware of the ramifications of foreclosure. Because with the short sale, the effects of that could be a 2 years.
2 years to recovery versus 5.
Much longer for foreclosure. And so for that reason, we're going to ask people to be proactive about, we're sorry you're in this situation, but there's people that don't want to help you, and so don't turn a deaf ear to those people.
No, we're here to throw you a lifeline. We want to help. Give us that opportunity. We'd be happy to do so.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.